So when we are talking about self-discipline, what do we mean? Now, imagine yourself inside a very beautiful car that has no braking system. How comfortable would you be when you know that the vehicles around you don't have a correct, a working braking system in place? I bet you won't be confident to drive along with them. So that's it. When we are surrounded in an environment where there is lack of control, when there is no guaranteed means of bringing things to a halt, then we get scared. That is it. You don't want to fly an aeroplane that has no braking system. Even though you could enjoy the speed in the air, there must be a correct braking system for the aeroplane to stop at the right place on the runway. So the beauty of our lives notwithstanding, the effects of our lives notwithstanding, no matter how much progress we are making, no matter how much impact we are making all around, no matter the number of people that we're able to connect with, we're able to impart, when we cannot bring things to a halt or a slower pace, then we must get troubled and agitated, and people don't get comfortable around us. So no matter what we do, no matter what we commit ourselves to, there must be a process that must be activated at your own will, at my own will, that is able to bring our activity to a stop or to a slower pace. That is what self-discipline, and if you could call it self-control, that is what it talks about. Your life is moving at a very good speed. You are making significant progress. You can start things. You can really connect with a lot of people. You can start a lot of projects. But the question is, if you want to calm things down, can you? If you want to bring an activity to a pause or to a stop, would you be able to do that? So it's important we check ourselves. As a man, as a woman, I am growing, I'm developing, I'm pursuing a lot of things. But can I control myself? Can I control my desires? Can I control my ambition? Can I bring things to a halt, or can I slow things down? If you cannot say yes to any of these, then you need to ask yourself, do you really have self-discipline? Do you really have self-control, or you don't? So in this video, very quickly, I want to take us through basic steps that would help us to become people that can really control ourselves. So when we talk about self-discipline, we're really dealing with how do we control our impulses, our emotions, our behaviors, so that we can achieve a long-term objective. And so we ask, where I'm going, I desire to go there actually, but for me to get there, I need to stop something. I need to control my emotion. I'm getting too excited, or I'm getting too sad. I need to come out of my shell. If you're able to do that, then it will be said that you have self-discipline. You said you would do something and you're able to do it. Many people are actually facing this challenge. They procrastinate because they said they would do, but they don't end up doing, and nothing happens. It's just like a society that says, don't steal, don't kill. And yet, when people do that, there is no punishment, nothing serving as deterrent to other people. Now, you must be able to bring your life to a point, a place where when you say you will do a thing, let there be a deterrent for you, something that brings you into a serious check, that makes you to say, I have said I will, and I have to. Now, somebody could say, what do I stand to gain from having self-discipline? I will share a little of them, which if you can look at them, I'm sure you'll be willing to go through the process that will subject you to a self-discipline exercise and a self-discipline outcome. The first thing that self-discipline will do to you is that it's going to improve your focus. It's going to improve your concentration. You'll be able to stay on what you said you will stay on. You see, what happens to a driver that is driving on a straight road but deciding to turn the steering or to move to the direction that the tires wants to move to? For some of us that our cars may be having alignment issues, or maybe one tire is lower in pressure than the other, you will notice the car sometimes wants to go right or wants to go left, depending on alignment or tire pressure. So what happens to the driver? If the driver is not able to keep the steering straight, then the vehicle will move to a direction that is not exactly the desired direction of the driver. So your vehicle wants to turn to the right or to the left, but you as a driver, you keep your steering straight. That is what self-discipline does. It focuses us. It helps us to concentrate on what is the most important. Another benefit of self-discipline is better time management. You see, when you get focused and you concentrate on what is the most important thing for you, you're able to manage your time and you're able to get a lot done in a very short time span. For somebody that is still doubting, let me show you another thing that you will benefit with self-discipline: enhanced productivity. Once you're able to manage your time, you keep your focus, what happens is that you're able to produce more. Your life will show more results because you are disciplined. Not that people are responsible for that, you are doing it. And that is why it is called self-discipline. You are bringing your life to a control or a system that brings about better results, better productivity. Now, let me show you the fourth thing that I believe self-discipline will do to you. It will increase your self-confidence. You see, when you say you will do a thing and you end up doing it, you feel proud of yourself and you get so confident about what you can do. You see, when you say you will do and you don't do, what happens is that it's not only other people that get to lose confidence in you, you get to lose confidence in yourself. Imagine a striker that has been playing football and has been scoring, but suddenly, every time the striker gets to the goalpost, instead of shooting into the net, you shoot away or you shoot up. So what happens? Even when the striker gets to the point of shooting again, the striker begins to doubt. The striker begins to say, can I do it? Will I be able to take it into the net, put it straight in the net? And so what happens? Once that comes in, then there will be a lack of goals. Once lack of goals comes in, the striker will be benched. So when we don't keep to our own personal promises, when we cannot sustain our own efforts, what happens? We begin to lose confidence in our abilities. So if you want to build your own self-discipline, let me show you some practical steps that you can use to get yourself into that realm where you're able to bring yourself into a proper structure and a proper system that is able to encourage productivity and keep your focus on your tasks. The first thing you need to do is that you need to set clear goals. You see, we started by saying it's important you know what you want to do. You tell yourself, I want to do this, and then you ensure you do it. And we said that is self-discipline. But what happens when you don't know anything you want to do or you don't have anything to do? So you won't actually be able to have a direction for your discipline. You discipline yourself by bringing your life on a track. But what happens when you don't have a goal, you don't have a destination in view? Then you have no reason to tell yourself, wake up, or to tell yourself, rise up. You have no reason, you have no basis to challenge yourself. You know, when we challenge ourselves, it is ultimately towards achieving a goal. And one thing I would say is make sure your goals are smart. They are specific, they are measurable, they are achievable, they are realistic, and they are time-bound. You must be able to set your goals. The second thing that you need to do to build self-discipline is create a plan. Create a plan. Now, it's one thing to set a goal, it's another thing to have a plan. Your plan talks about how you intend to achieve the goal. You must have it. Because those are necessary ingredients that are required for you to have that self-discipline that you yearn for. The third thing that you need to do also is you need to eliminate every kind of forms of distractions. You see, the self-discipline can only thrive on focus. And if you keep getting distracted, you won't be able to maintain the momentum on that same thing that you are disciplining yourself over. You need to therefore eliminate all distractions, everything. Whether you call it notifications that are not necessary, whatever distracts you, eliminate it. The next thing I want to say is you need to practice self-control. It has been said, self-control is necessary because we have a body, we have a self that needs to be controlled. So you need to practice it. So you could tell yourself, okay, I don't want to respond to immediate gratification. Let me delay my gratification. This thing is looking like I must have it. If I don't have it, I will die. But let me not have it. I won't die. Many times we ourselves, we come up with fresh demands on ourselves. And we're like, if you don't meet this demand, there will be trouble. And usually there would be no trouble. It's just that spur of the moment. So you need to bring yourself into control. Practice the habit of controlling yourself. So the next thing I will say is, if you find yourself making significant progress, bringing yourself into a sense of discipline, then you need to celebrate yourself. Celebrate your little progress. You said you will do, and you have done. Appreciate yourself. Reward yourself. Remember, whatever is appreciated tends to improve. And the last thing I will say is that you need to learn from your own mistakes. You see, building self-discipline doesn't come overnight. It comes over time. There will be little baby steps. There will be little mistakes here and there. But you need to appreciate that you are making progress and you learn from your mistakes. Don't go about repeating your mistakes, but learn from your mistakes so that you can avoid them and you can make better decisions going forward. I said I will do, but I could not sustain the momentum. What were the things that made me not to do the things I said I would do? Learn from those things. Oh, next time I will stay away from this. It didn't help me. It distracted me. It discouraged me. And learn to use what works as a tool, as a basis for making things to work repeated. You see, many people actually struggle with self-discipline. And before we blame them, we must understand there's a set of factors that really make self-discipline to become almost impossible for an average person. The first thing that we mustn't forget is procrastination. You see, when you procrastinate and you get into the habit of procrastinating, then you have a very difficult challenge with having or exercising self-control. You can't keep procrastinating. In fact, you can't keep procrastinating your own exercise of self-discipline. So you need to face the issues of your life head on. You need to challenge yourself. You can't keep posting it till later. Today is the time that you need to start to work on yourself. Another thing that I believe that often prevents people from building that self-discipline is lack of motivation. They ask themselves, what is in it for them? What's the point? Why am I sacrificing? What do I stand to gain? Denying myself of all this enjoyment of gratifications or all these things. So you need to also understand that lack of motivation can discourage you. So the best thing you will do is to ensure that you stay motivated. Have the right goals, big enough, exciting enough to excite you, to bring you out, to make you to rise up early in the morning, that makes you to be willing and ready to go through the process. Another thing that you mustn't forget, it looks funny, but it's true. Temptations. You see, sometimes we promise ourselves we do a couple of things, but when we face temptations, many times we are not able to overcome them. And because of that, we are not able to enjoy that testimony of self-discipline. So what do? Understand that temptations happen to everyone. But if you think some people are exercising self-discipline, then you must understand that you can overcome this temptation. Knowing that it is until you overcome the temptations that come your way that you're able to get to the other side of being able to exercise self-control or self-discipline. The last thing I would like to talk about is that self-doubt is a critical issue. Many people don't believe they can do it. They say, I know they can do it. I think it's just for people of their caliber, people of their, status. But me, I can't do it. What do I know? Who do I know? I'm not able. You need to calm down. Before you start telling yourself what you can't, maybe you can spend a good time telling yourself the things you can do. Before you know it, you might be able to add to the list of what you can do, the things that you initially said you can't. So self-doubt is a big issue. You need to confront yourself head on. So it's important we understand. You see, the more you appreciate the value of self-discipline, the more you appreciate the value of self-control, the more you are able to go through the process. Don't forget where we started from. You don't want to drive a vehicle, a car, a truck, a pickup, anything you think of that lacks braking system. Even if it's a bicycle, you want it to have good brakes. Because even though you love the speed, you love the progress, sometimes you just love to stop also. You want to stop certain things. So many times we commit ourselves into things. When we were doing them, we're enjoying them, but suddenly we just get to know better. Suddenly we think, it's enough. I don't want to talk. I don't want to do this or do that. But because you cannot control yourself, even though you desire not to talk, you find yourself talking. You desire not to be angry, you find yourself being angry. You find yourself not to be easily deceived, but you find yourself, you are deceived. What has happened is that you have not been able to exercise enough control, enough discipline on yourself. So I want to challenge you with this short video that you need to commit yourself to that process that is able to bring yourself into a complete halt when you want it to come to a halt. You see, it will be very bad for you to tell yourself, I love this vehicle, I love the speed, I hate the stop. So if you tell yourself like that, then you want to destroy your life. No matter the speed of your life, no matter the progress, you need to bring yourself under control. There are times you love to talk, yes, but you need to keep quiet certain times. There are times you love to look. At certain times you need to actually take off your eyes and not look. Sometimes you love to spend money. In fact, not sometimes, we all love to spend money. But at times you need to tell yourself, I don't want to spend. I want to save. I want to invest. These are things that we need to practice as we are building the capacity to exercise self-control. Many people cannot stop smoking. They cannot stop drinking alcohol. Some people cannot stop having sex. And the problem is not just the things they do. The problem is their inability to stop what they think is not good for themselves. When they say smokers are liable to die young, you ask yourself, how come those who are smoking are still smoking in spite of the message? The problem is lack of self-discipline. They cannot stop even though they know they should stop. So I want to encourage you, don't wait till the time that you become addicted to certain things. From now, start exercising self-discipline. You know, the Bible says, train up your child in the way that he should go, so that when the child grows up, will not depart from the way. So I want to challenge you. Your life, yourself, your body, your mind is like that child. Train it up, so that when your child, your mind grows up, it will continue in a trajectory that is safe, that is healthy, that is good enough for your growth and for your success in life. The ultimate game, the ultimate goal of self-discipline is that you will succeed. And if you can bring yourself into that state, I see that very soon you will start marking list of your successful endeavors. And as you do that, I trust that God will help you. The grace of God will be sufficient for you. You will not fail. You will get into the promised land that God has prepared for you. In the name of Jesus. My name is Adedeji, and it's been a great time we've shared together in this atmosphere, learning how to build our self-discipline, knowing fully well that we will be the first beneficiary of the discipline that we exert upon our own lives. And I see us going to greater heights by the grace of God. In Jesus' name, God bless you.